Play some Turok. Don't tell me I have to play on a tiny screen. I just do like this. Well, Luzzy, yes. Here I still have to play on a bloody tiny screen. Well, whatever. Load game. Porvaria. Yes, yes, yes. I am teleported. Yeah. Now let's talk about the NES discussion. And let's talk about. I mean, does it hold up? Does it? Does it still fun to play? And mostly I would say yes, but I do think that it has to come with a caveats when it comes to recommending NES games. Now, first of all, I think that. Hold on here. What was I? Yes. I mean, I feel like most NES games were playing on the original hardware. I mean, unless you were like a collector, maybe like there are much better options through compilations or the Nintendo Switch online service, or well, used to be WiiWare, but or Virtual Console, yes, but because usually they come with save states and or yeah, save states and yeah. That's what it, yeah. But that's the problem. Like again, like most NES games, you can't save actually. I mean, yeah, like or well, you can save, but you have to do a password, and you have to password, and the only way to get a password is to die, or is to get a game over. And that's only when you can save actually. Yeah, which can be kind of cool, but. Like but the biggest like easy example is like in the first Metroids. That anytime when you start, you only have like 30 hit points. That's very low, and if you want to get more health, you have to go and farming, and which isn't very fun. But having a save states would really mitigate that problem, which is actually yeah, very good actually. I mean, now I still think that like most NES games, despite their problems, maybe like a save feature, like the very minimalistic, the minimalism of most game design. Yeah, of course. And again, one thing to say is that a lot of NES games in general are very limiting. Yes. And something I have to ask is, I mean, is a good Super Metroid is always going to be better than a good NES game, because isn't because that the SNES is I mean, with the Super Nintendo with 16-bit or whatever, is because that the possibilities are more. I think the games, NES games has more possibilities. I mean, I would say that completely outclasses NES games, but in all cases, the best what has to offer is going to be better than what the best what the NES has to offer. Yes, again, because more possibilities to. Now, an easy example, of course, is like Super Metroid and Final Fantasy 6 or Earthbound. I mean, if any game that has aged poorly on the NES, it's probably RPGs. First of all, I think the majority of RPGs on NES are very again minimalistic. I mean, yeah. A good RPG probably if people want to play RPGs nowadays, or like they at least want to have like a good story, or maybe like again a good story or memorable characters or whatever. Yes, I mean, and most NES games, I think, even to except for maybe like a Sweet Home, which is like a very special unique take on an RPG mixed with the horror and RPG elements. Yes, yeah, well, I'm taking damage like an idiot. But anyway, yeah, most RPGs on yes is like you are knight, defeat bad guy. Yes, I mean some people might see appreciate minimalism, but can you just back down a little bit? Yes, minimalism. Yes, Yeah, and it can be often tough to recommend NES games, but most NES games are like platforms or whatever, and all the games are still fun. Although a bit can be a bit frustrating, yes. I mean, however, but I will say this: no matter how hard NES games get, I do feel like that there are still like these are games that you can actually beat. Actually, if that makes sense, yeah. I mean, like compared to a lot of arcade games that are designed to eat quarters, which is can be a very I've argued that it's actually a bad game design in my book. But and yes, games is a game that games and yes, hard is something that you can actually master if it's well designed, of course. And now, of course, any consoles have bad games, and yes, the NES is of course no exception. No exception, yes, but hell, I would even argue that most NES games are actually better than the TurboGrafx 16 or the Sega Master System because the library of Sega Master Systems it's too experimental and not much substance actually. I mean, yeah, now there are games that I like, but like, what is this? I mean, it's like too much and too little for most parts, yeah, and which kind of sucks. Which again, I really don't like saying that because again, I had a hard time getting into the Genesis, I had a hard time to get into the Genesis games because of limited continues, which can actually happen in the SNES games, although they're not actually not that common actually. If you think about it, now they're still possible to happen, of course, which sucks. But then I was never a big fan of limited continues. I mean, yeah. Again, yeah. Of course, a lot of these games are, of course, been a miss. I mean, for instance, you can maybe start a Nintendo 64 remake for $10. Maybe still a little too much, but that is possible. But charging $10 for NES games is downright criminal, actually. And yeah, I mean, yeah. Of course, now, of course, one pet peeve is that with the NES is that square controller. I mean, which is not the most comfortable thing to hold. Now there are alternatives, but yeah, then again, pretty much all NES games I played on WiiWare or the Switch Virtual Console, and of course you can use like a Pro controller if you want. Yeah, of course which isn't a problem to me. Of course, the NES Mini. I mean, yeah, of course, the controller made for it is a little too short anyway, so you're better off using another controller, like the Super Nintendo controller. Yes. Now if you, oh no, I want to zoom in, but yeah, there it is. Beep, 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 beep. And boom for you, yes, again, yeah. Yeah, and these games are of course very minimalistic. Yeah, like I said before, but and yeah, and they're always the most easy to recommend because yeah, they're always easy to find. And then after what game that can beat maybe in less than an hour. Maybe it's always the most exciting thing to recommend. I mean, maybe having like 3 SNES games is better than having 5 NES games. Can be more exciting because again, I feel like usually a SNES game is more exciting than an NES game. But again, now I'm not saying that the SNES game automatically triumphs NES games by default, but SNES games in general have more possibilities. Yes, I mean like Link's Awakening or Super Metroid would probably never happen on the NES. Again, yeah. Of course, more like Link's Awakening or Super Metroid, of course, a more fleshed out version of the original format. Yes, I mean, but you can maybe say that Super Mario Brothers 3 is better or equally as good as Super Mario World. Yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of on par actually because with quality, if you ask me. Yeah, I mean, there's so which one prefers up to is more up to preference in that case, but again, yeah. But I think that most people can agree that 596 is better than any of the Fantasy on NES. I think most people will probably agree with that, but yeah. Again, yeah, again, that's suggested that, yeah, and of course, there's still plenty of that push the boundaries that push creativity. I mean, yeah, there are many hidden gems that to be enjoyed. Yes, I mean, yeah, like whoa, like holy god. Again, I find it very difficult to say about the TurboGrafx 16 and the yeah Sega Master System. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to like the Sega Master System, but most games are too experimental and not a lot of substance. What am I even playing here? Like, I don't know. And the other games that I like that I enjoy, but mostly like blah. I'm like, I mean, one of the most defining games is like Alex Kidd. I mean, like really? Yeah, the TurboGrafx 16 was a system that was competing against the NES, not the Super Nintendo. And of course, the Sega Master System, of course, is the same as well. But like, I don't know. NES games, there are many games like wow, I want to play that. Or like, yes, I want to play that. And the other two. Now I've started more and more to appreciate the Sega Genesis more and more. But once again, that was a system that was wanted to compete against the NES actually. Till Super Nintendo came, and with all that, even though Genesis can still stand tall against the Super Nintendo, is that but usually I think that Super Nintendo has more like a usually it has a bit more of an edge actually. I mean, yeah, and Super Nintendo in general has stronger specs except for the better frame rate and I guess speed actually. Yeah, I mean, of course, now the other thing that I prefer, like I do prefer like control on the Genesis or Super Nintendo, or I am a huge fan of Treasure, of course, which is of course or is the rareware or of the Genesis, or should I say that the rareware is the Treasure of Nintendo 64? Yeah. Should I say yeah? Because Treasure became well first the glory days of Treasure became before well what the hell was that? But before the glory days of Rareware, yes. Again. Yeah, what else? What I'll talk about? Yeah, the NES games were usually limited, whatever. Already said that. What else? Yeah. Of course, or that again, even the NES games are also very limited, also, but maybe not also identity-wise are not always like fully realized. I mean, I would say like I mean, like I think that for instance, like I feel like identity Metroid's identity was fully realized till Super Metroid, or like Demon's Quest is the fully realized version of the Gargoyle's Quest games, and of course there's Link's Awakening is a more fully realized version of the Zelda games, etc. And many more. Yes, so I will worry that Super Mario Bros. 3 is already a fully realized version of the Super Mario version. Yes, Super Mario Bros. Formula. Yes, yes. But again, that's an example. But it's more like and yes, it's more like the humble beginnings of franchises. Yeah, I mean, both not that still a lot of anime games, regardless of how good they are, usually it's like Save the Princess or Stop the Bad Guy. I mean, it's fine, but maybe it doesn't always leave much fulfillment. I mean, like I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo 64, but what I do like is that usually the better of Nintendo 64 games, there's a lot more motivation to keep playing. I mean, I mean, like take Turok 2 instance for instance, like the game that I'm playing now. Of course, it's the PC remastered version, but again, like now I feel like the atmosphere, the I guess the melancholy, the music, it really drives the game forward. I mean, it's just like a dumb shooter. I mean the exploration, again, I feel there's more motivation actually. I mean, to play the game actually. I mean, like hearing Adon's descriptions of the places that you visit, I feel there's more motivation to play further. I mean, yes, yeah, or like again, a lot of times a lot of N64 games has like very good atmosphere actually. I mean, yeah, it's just like stop bad guy or save princess or stop bad guy. Yes, there's like usually more motivation. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, like for instance, like Banjo Kazooie is again like you save your sister from an evil witch controller, but both games, I mean, for instance, controller has like a lot of personality. Like now I'm talking about the Banjo Kazooie and two at the same time because I mean, yeah, like two has more of a great atmosphere. I mean, I feel like two has more of a like a as a believable world, despite a silly, despite Banjo to be a silly game, it still has like an immersive world, yes, to explore, yes. I mean, and oh yeah, now many in 64. I talk about many aspects, similar aspects about many N64 games, but usually there's more motivation. I mean, to keep there's more motivation to keep playing. Actually, I mean, now not just other than being a game being fun, so to speak. Yes, I mean a lot of NES games are fun, and the better NES games is like the equivalent of is the equivalent of a roller coaster ride. And yes, I mean it's still like a lot of fun. I mean. I guess the star of a NES game is usually not the main character, but the levels design. Usually the creative the creative level design. Yes, that is the star. Like it's kind of like a board game. Yes, the star isn't your color peon. It's the colorful design of a board game. Even if it's like Candyland. I mean, the visual layout is the star of the game actually. Yes, so to speak, and it's kind of similar to NES games, but again, yeah, and again, a lot. It's usually the motivation is usually very limited. I mean, usually like the end screen is usually like a wall of text or just a screen. Congratulations, or maybe one picture to show that you beat the bad guy, and that's not always a huge motivation actually. I mean, so it's kind of okay, kind of accepted that the ending of NES games aren't very interesting, like or compelling. Yeah, maybe that's maybe another reason why NES games aren't always usually instantly appealing. Yes, now one thing you can say about NES games is that they're easy to pick up and play. Actually, I mean, yeah, you just want to play maybe for an hour or so, like something that you can quickly beat. NES games are perfect for that. Yeah, again, yeah, again, yeah, again. I don't know what else would I say about NES games. I think I spoken up, yeah. I mean, I think the best way to play NES game is through compilations or that Switch online service. That can actually be the best bet to play NES games because usually you have like a save state or like a rewind version. Hell, I even play even the match beat Baltos, yes. Of course, some NES games, even like good NES games, can have bad game design even for the time. Yes, these are from hell. Yes, like it's just like doesn't mean that the bad games design is always acceptable. Even in NES games, now NES games, a lot of NES games do still have good design, but sometimes they don't. So sometimes when NES games have like, man, these levels are still very good till they don't. Even more like is like no, again, that's no exception actually. Even like good NES games can all of a sudden have like an annoying gimmick or an annoying level design. It can happen, and it's not like oh, and there are allowed to be criticized. Yes, like now a problem of like arcade hearts is that they made unfair on purpose, and that's usually what's kind of rubs the arcade games the wrong way. I mean, it's not a very pleasant way. It's not very pleasant to play arcade games. I mean, I like the bombastic nature of arcade games, but I don't like the unfairness. And usually, when arcade games are re-released, you can use pretend quarters to have unlimited continues. But usually that's not very satisfying to beat an arcade game. But I guess that's better than start from the beginning. I guess, yeah. I mean, that's what I want. What I want arcade games is maybe like a level select because I want to master these levels. I want to be able to do a hitless run on this level because, of course, I mean, like for instance, like Miles Luck. I mean, now, maybe like in an official Neo Geo release, you can actually save in the later games, 2 and 3 at least. You can actually pick a level from the start, and you can actually practice there. But now most pretty much all Metal Slug or Neo Geo re-releases, you either start from the beginning or use pretend quarters, and there's not anything in between. Yes, which is very unfortunate because I want to master Metal Slug actually, but it's either start from the beginning or or use infinite life cheat codes. Yes, there's many explosive booms. Can see that or again, which sucks because a lot of times I feel like the whole makes arcade games unappealing because the purposely made unfair to put more cores in it, and that is just bad game design. That just hampers the overall enjoyment of the game. And sometimes I do feel like that you can actually master the game, but usually yeah, you use pretend quarters or start from the beginning, which usually kind of sours the experience of arcade games to me. But I think I'll leave it there.